I now open the floor for question, and I would like to start from my left side, from my Vice Chair, Honorable Ishmael, and Honorable Member for Mother Ward. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Honorable and Able Chair. Welcome, Bwana Kitonga Saleh.
Thank you.
Our nominee on Department of the Central Units, Second Intergovernmental Relations. From your documents and biodata that you've given us, first I want to congratulate you because I see the documents are very well done. This is commendable. It shows that someone is serious.
Thank you, thank you.
My question is, I know you've worked with the county government, other departments, even other sectors. What are the roles of a chief officer in any particular ministry? As you explain to us, can you also give us examples of how you carry out, how a chief officer is supposed to carry out the duties and the roles that have been given to him? What to believe that you should be understanding this, bearing in mind you've been in the sector for quite some time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It is working this one. Thank you, Chairman. Honorable Member through the Chair for the question on the roles of a chief officer. The chief officer has got several roles. One is in charge of the general administration of that particular docket where you are working. You are supposed to do or to head the administrative work in that particular department. Secondly, I would want to say that chief officer is the accounting officer of that ministry. So he's supposed to manage all the resources, including the finances. The chief officer is also an authorized officer, meaning that he's supposed to be in charge of the human resources within the department. This is delegated to him by the Public Service Board, and therefore he should be able to guide it. A chief officer also is supposed to give strategic policy direction for the delivery of services within the department. He's supposed to head the human resource, the officers, show them what to do so that they can deliver services to the people. A chief officer also is in charge of the development and implementation of the county strategic plans and even the sector development plans. A chief officer is supposed to facilitate the achievement of the objectives and the goals of the county government and also the intergovernmental programs and projects. A chief officer is supposed to ensure that there is efficient and effective delivery of services through the services which are there, including the human resources, the finances, and also they are supposed to give the required reports to the relevant authorities on the same. A chief officer is also supposed to lead the department in performance contracting or performance management systems. A chief officer is also supposed to promote what we call the national values and principles of good governance, which are in our Constitution 2010, Articles 10 and 232 of the same Constitution. A chief officer also is supposed to ensure that you set up strategies to achieve the goals of the Vision 2030. And again, I can also say a chief officer is supposed to do another duty as you may be assigned by the county executive committee member or the county secretary. I think those are enough. If you are satisfied, Honorable Chairman and the members.
Yes. Let's go to the next question and try to be brief. And I think there is a follow-up question on the same from Mheshimiwa Dibora.
Through the chair, Mr. Saleh,
Yes,
just
madam.
as a by the way question, I know, having in mind that you are coming to be vetted on this position, can you kindly just briefly inform us or tell us what you understand by what you understand by decentralized units, or the department, the general information you have about the department you are being vetted for?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member Deborah. Through the chair, as I said, I'm here to be vetted on decentralized units, SECEP, and intergovernmental relations. When we talk about the decentralized units, to use a simple language, when we talk about decentralized units, we are talking about the administration of the county government. We are talking about the sub-county administration, the ward administration, the village administration. Those are the decentralized units. When we talk about doing decentralization, it is moving the services from the central headquarters, where we have the governor here, even the county assembly is placed here. We are placing services to the other areas of the county, which are the sub-counties, the wards, the villages. And then we also have the SECEP. SECEP is the short form of Southeastern Kenya Economic Bloc, which is a union, an economic union for the 3 counties in Ukambani, which is our county Kitui, Machakos, and then we have Makueni. Then the other part of the intergovernmental relations, it is a part which deals with the other governments within the country. So intergovernmental relations, it is the relationship between the county government and the national government, and different among the county governments. So, Honorable Chair, to the member who asked the question, I think that is how I can reply.
Thank you. I think it is well answered. Mheshimiwa Waziri, is your time to ask any question.
Thank you, Chair. Now that Mr. Saleh, I think you have touched on matters to do with SECEP, having in mind that SECEP is for the 3 Ukambani counties, that
Yes.
is Kitui, Machakos, and Makueni.
Yes.
What plan do you have which will make Kitui shine out of the 3 counties?
Thank you for the question, Honorable Member, and through the Chair. SECEP was inaugurated sometimes in 2016 with a name of bringing development to the people of the 3 counties. when the counties are together, it is not like when a county is alone. When you have several counties together, they are able to lobby for resources from even the national government, the development partners, the donors, and they can get sponsorship on many issues which can lead to the development of the area. Also again, when the counties come together, they are able to share their natural resources. They are able to support each other. What you don't have in Kitui, we can get it from Makueni easily, without much, without blocks. There is more free trade among the counties. There is also exchange of culture among us, because we have that union among ourselves. Also, we talk of issues of peace, where in case we have border issues or we are clashing over some resources, we have ways of solving our problems in an amicable way without resulting into other many more problems. So when we have this union, we are able to achieve a lot. It is not only us. Actually, when the county government began in 2014, all the 47 counties belong to a trading bloc. So we have 6 of them, and unfortunately ours is the smallest because we have only 3 counties. The others have more counties, some more than 14. So it is a good thing, and it is happening worldwide, where countries are even coming together to form an economic bloc. So when we are together, we are able to develop faster, create jobs for our people, and it is a good thing for our people. And we are moving towards a right direction. And I can say here that the chairman of the bloc is our own governor. So we expect to move far with the second. And as a CEO for the docket, I will do my best to move it forward. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Developing question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll ask more right on that.
Yes.
But as you just informed us that second membership with 3 counties. That's okay, we agree. Is there a possibility in future for second to expand? Is that true? In your own capacity, are you able to negotiate on behalf of the county, trying to woo the other counties, the neighboring counties, perhaps to join us to expand the second?
Thank you for the question, Honorable Dominic Ishmael, through the chair. What you have asked is very possible. Actually, we have already developed an act within the county. We have the Kitui County Second Act 2022. It was actually passed last year, and the act allows for new membership to SECEP. There are procedures set out on how you can get a new member, and as you said, we can try to lobby because the 3 counties, we have our neighbors, very close neighbors. I can talk of the Rakanidi County. I think we share a lot of common things with them, and if there is good lobbying, probably not at my level, probably the level of governor, and even MCS, UMCS, you can be able to lobby with your colleagues on that side. On the other side, Kajiado County is not very far from this region because they border Makueni. We even have Taita Taveta County. These counties can be lobbied and they can join the second. So it is doable, and I can say as a CEO in charge of the area, I'll also attempt to talk to my colleagues so that they can convince their leaders, because this has to start with the leaders. And I know even the membership of this county assembly is also a member in one of the organs of SECEP. So together we can do a lot and increase the membership. Thank you, Honorable Member and the Chairman.
Mheshimiwa Kanamba, can pass the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To you, Mr. Sagan.
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
How will you ensure smooth working relationship between the county executive and the county assembly?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Member, through the Chair. Smooth working relationship between the county assembly and the executive is very, very crucial, because we can say they are just county assembly and the county executive, they are just two arms of the same government. When we talk of the Kitui county government, it comprises of the executive and the legislature. Therefore, these two must work together in harmony, because we know that the county assembly, you are the ones who make the laws, you are the ones who approve the budget, you oversight the executive, and on the other hand, the executive is supposed to do service delivery and also implement the laws which you make. And for that matter, as you asked, I will do all my best to ensure that we work in harmony. And working in harmony here means we have to do consultations, frequent consultations. On my part, this committee, because it is the committee of administration, we have to keep on consulting a lot. To our officers in the field, we have also to cooperate with the elected leaders and work together so that we can achieve development for our people. So I will do the best I can to ensure that we work in harmony and we are together so that we can achieve more.
Thank you, Mr. Kitonga. On the same, on how we will ensure a good relationship between county assembly and the executive. Maybe through your experience,
Yes.
you have been working with the previous regime, right?
Yes.
What happens for a situation that there is a conflict, either from the members of the county assembly? To some extent, it reached to a point members of county assembly want to impeach the governor, who is your head from the office of the governor.
Yes.
This one has happened, especially from the previous regime, and you have been there. Can you tell us what causes, what are solutions, and what are the recommendations of the same?
Okay, thank you, Chairman, for the question. It is true, I've been in this county now for, let us say, around 10 years, and I've seen it all. I was here when probably the county assembly and the executive were not doing very well. The relationship was not so good. In fact, I remember at one time, it was so bad that there was an attempt to impeach our boss, the governor. I can say this was an unfortunate situation. I can say probably it was brought about, although I'm not supposed to speak on behalf of my bosses, but I can say there was bad blood between the two arms of the government, where probably there was no enough consultation. I remember our governor that time wanted to do things very fast, probably never had enough time to consult enough with the other leaders, and therefore when he did, I can remember there were projects he did which were posts, which were said to be done without following the right procedure. Probably they were not subjected to scrutiny by the assembly and even public participation. We had projects like Kitui. There was a stone crash somewhere. I also remember there was an issue on the appointment of the county secretary, who is the head of public service, who was appointed, and the assembly said they had not approved him. And therefore there was a lot of tug of war. Eventually that county secretary had to go through a court process. The tug of war led to a lot of things happening. They say when the elephants
shall speak through the chairperson when asking questions or providing another response either. Members are allowed to speak while seated, and candidates too. The official language allowed during the session is English, Swahili. It's only English, Kiswahili, and the sign language, if need be. Honorable members, I kindly notify you that these proceedings of an assembly committee and their contribution are not in any way an adversarial, that anybody speaking should feel free to ensure that the exercise is seamless and conducted in the most transparent and fair manner. Honorable members, allow me to welcome Mr. Fana Ndema Kalenge to this approval hearing. On this juncture, I wish to inform you that he is legally before the committee for the vetting exercise as provided in standing order number 190 subsection 5(1)(f), which gives the committee the mandate to vet and report all the appointments where the Constitution or any other law requires the county assembly to approve, except those under standing order number 185, that is the committee on appointments. Honorable members, it is my sincere hope that the session will be actively interactive. Mr. Kavenge, you are accordingly advised to feel free to seek any clarification during the hearings and if need be arise. It is important noting that I will be moderating the session and also asking questions together with the honorable members of the committee. You are required to declare conflict of interest even before we proceed with the exercise which you have already done, and you will and wish you well in approval. Sorry, that was for members. Lastly, kindly provide the committee the original academic certificates and copies of certificates which I have asked you to do so. You have done it. And with that, we will proceed with the hearings, honorable members. Thank you very much. Okay, honorable members, we are now going to begin to engage the candidate directly. And Fernand, the question, even the name in the papers, in the documents, has its own, has all its own challenges, but I believe it is Fernand, isn't it? Yes, President. Okay, Kalenge, we want to welcome you once again. Thank you, Honorable Chair. And feel free, as you have said. Thank you, I believe these members of this committee, many may be familiar with you, others may not be, but you are welcome. This is an official engagement.
For livestock development and agriculture. I would like to request you to kindly stick to livestock and agriculture, because there is someone who is in the Department of Water Irrigation what did the governor say about livestock development and agriculture in his manifesto?
Also, I will request you to understand this. There is no livestock without water, because that is part of feeding. So when it comes to livestock, one, he wants an organized market in every ward. Two, he wants breed improvement. Three, AI. Four, he wants water traps in the watering point of animals. And he is looking at the water part of it. The manifesto speaks about water bagging, like A bagging and bailing. And also he looks at the marketing and the value addition.
Thank you. Chair, I think he has answered my question, but I also understand that there is no livestock without water. So there is no need of informing me that, because I knew the reason why I'm asking about the livestock and the agriculture only. But thank you. You have answered the question well, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, majority. I'm on that question from majority, whereby you have said that no livestock without water. What if the CEO for water fails to supply or to make sure that there is sufficient water?
First of all, I want to say it's a sorry state we are where we are now. We've got big bills in pending bills. It's not a phenomenon in this county alone, but that's not an excuse. I know there was a committee which was sent by His Excellency the Governor, a committee which did verifications of the pending bills, because some of them were hot air, and they have made their own recommendations. So we'll go by those recommendations. Then from where we are now going forward, my plan is that before we advertise a job, we must have a budget for it, so that tomorrow we'll not be talking about pending bills. So if we offer you to construct a building somewhere, let's say ward administrator's office in Kitui, the budget will be there. The work will be supervised from the beginning. First of all, the initial investigations of feasibility will be done before tendering. Document will be well prepared, following all the procedures as dictated in the Procurement and the Disposal of Assets Act 2012, and then the dual process of tendering is done properly to get the competent contractors. Then provision is done on the ground. I believe we will get value for our money when this process is done.
Thank you so much. Before you proceed, Honorable Makumi, is it a follow-up question or another one on the same? Honorable Makumi, please proceed.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, will you tell this committee on what will you do about the contractors who use substandard materials on site? Since in Kitui count, testing of materials is not part of the requirement, maybe I've never seen it. What will you do, and how will you ensure that the contractors use the right materials on site?
Thank you. Before you proceed, let's also have the other follow-up question from Honorable Beno, so that he will answer together.
Thank you. Mine was on the road equipment. You talked of doing 100 kilometers of grading, and in the governor's manifesto, he outlined how he was going to buy some extra equipment, that is the graders and the bulldozers. And given the lean budget, a big chunk of whatever we are getting from the national government goes to the recurring expenditure. How would you advise the governor to acquire this equipment? Bearing in mind that whatever we get is not enough even to buy for extra graders and bulldozers. Thank you.
Obviously, you can proceed.
Thank you, members, and thank you, Chair. Starting with the issue of quality of material used by contractors in the previous regimes. I earlier stated that I'm going to establish a material laboratory. I know it is there. The soil needs to be well equipped, that you can be able to test soils, you can be able to test concrete, you can be able to test bitumen. If you have those basic 3 items, those are the most critical ones to be done. And I will ensure that every project, these are prerequisites as the works are being executed on the ground. And they are done at different levels as the work comes up. So when, for example, when we have a site meeting, it is expected that the engineer will table the contractor's test results to show that this part was done, it was tested, and this is the result, before you move to the next stage. That's a normal procedure. If it has not been followed here, it's going to be done. Because we, as a county, we have seen what has happened in other counties like Nairobi and Kiambu. Floods coming down because of poor workmanship. There will be supervision of every stage of construction with standard forms of approval by our staff. 3 staffs. 1 is survey. The other levels are okay. If it is this floor and this floor, according to design, they are in the same level supposed to be according to design. There is an inspector who does the mixing on the site, the arrangement of reinforcement. If it's the grading, is there to check that it's graded and mixed properly. Then there is the material guy, material technician, who does the tests. And in all these different various works, there are various recommended tests to be done to make sure that the facility we are going to come at the end of the day, it meets the basic quality assurance standards. That I'm going to assure. Otherwise, there's no business investing money, then tomorrow is washed away. I'd rather not do it. Thank you. On the issue of equipment, yes, there's plan to increase the number of equipment. And I believe this county is big. We have got basic equipment. We've got 9 graders, we've got 1 dozer, we've got 1 roller, a battery. We got, I think, 1 or 3 excavator, I'm not sure about that. 4 tippers. This is a small fleet. If you are to do a road, just like what I gave example, Wingi and Gariza, you need 6 graders. You need 20 tippers. So basically what I'm saying, this is just bare minimum to scratch the surface. So we need to keep on improving this with time. Again, also advise us the resources we have. But the first thing to do would be to maintain what we have. And service them to come to a working position and provide a central workshop to continually maintain them. Then we continue harding because we need them. However, we will not be conflicting with the contractors, but they have to do their own things, because our basic work is to do with this equipment is to attack and sort out issues of emergencies, critical roads which need to be done, and there's no time to do tendering. and opening in new roads. Thank you.
One more. A quick one.
Proceed.
What would you advise? Leasing equipment or buying new one? What would you advise the executive to do?
Madam Chair, thank you for that question. From my experience, it has always been cheaper to own the equipment. In the long run, with the ongoing rates for leasing, 1 year down the line you buy the same machine and you are paid for the one month. So my recommendation would be on. Hiring is only done if you are doing something for a short period and you leave. But long period, like this accounting, we are here forever. I mean, perpetually. You need to hold them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we can proceed to Mheshimiwa Ben Asila.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Chairman, as I have heard from you that you know this county very well, you must be aware that our road network is a great challenge. And it needs serious intervention. Assuming you get the position, what will you, what is your input on that to make the networks better? Secondly, I have heard from you also saying you worked with Put Sarajevo, which was putting Mwingi Katumba Road. I come from those areas, knowing maybe Mwingi is the epicenter of all those areas, and there is a great challenge of Kame Ohanas, who are known as chieftains. If you are there at that time, I know you might also come across such a challenge. We believe something like Kitui might help in making life of our people better. What can you say about that? So long as you are in that docket. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Madam Chair, thank you. Honorable Member, thank you. Yes, there are a few things I needed to put in position, and some of them I've just mentioned earlier on. One is whether to sit down with my staff and know who are they. And we interact with them to know how can we move where I want us to move together. Because I'm great in teamwork. And it's good when you give them an opportunity to hear from them. Why are we not delivering? The way citizens of Kitui wants. We are going to deliver from now on. And the best indicators in the performance management.
News Mutomo Reptile Park, which is a giant lying there, we need to see about it and explore. So, Honorable Chair, I can tell you, I'm not going to a green area. It is like pushing a monkey to a hill, and that is the bedroom of that monkey. So, I'm taking the position of a chief officer of tourism because I have wealth of experience. in that department. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
We move. Thank you very much for that answer, and we will request you. Really, we don't want to keep brief, but be direct to the answer, and then from there, if members have anything else, they can probe further. Honorable Katana, we are done with that. Okay, now we go to the Vice Chair, Honorable Ndugu. And as we continue, honorable members, sorry, I had forgotten to recognize one of our colleagues who is seated at the gallery. And that is Honorable Alphonse Mekwayu, and who has been very actively participating. Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for making time to be with us. It's part of us. And also, we want to appreciate our senior legal officer, Kanya, who is around, together with also our other legal officer, Masi. Thank you. Let's continue.
Welcome, Mr. Katenke. And congratulations for the nominee.
Thank you, Honorable.
County government is made up of two arms. That is county assembly and county executive, as provided in Article 176(1). In view of this, outline the functions of each arm. And two, maybe you can note down. And two, briefly explain how your department is linked to this committee for purpose of efficient service delivery to Kitui County.
Thank you, Honorable Ndungu, for your two questions. Yes, we know the county government is composed of two arms of government. One is the county assembly, and the other one is a county executive. I will start with the county assembly. The county assembly, the main function, representation, then legislation and oversight. That is the function in brief for the county assembly. The function of executive arm, number one, it is to prepare the budgets and implement those budgets. Then engage the public when they are doing their plans. Also, the issue of revenue, they act as an agent to the national government for the revenue collection. That is the work of the executive. Then also licensing of parts of the businesses. There are, for example, food licensing, bars, those things. It's for the executive to make sure there is enough revenue for the implementation of the programs of the executive. Thank you. In brief, Honorable Lumu.
Are you done? Is it okay, Mheshimiwa? Every person who asks the question, we need to move forward as we know whether they're okay. Let's go to the other member. Honorable Masi. Number two, I think you never answered. There was an accompanying question.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Honorable Ndungu.
Yes, she's the one who asked the question.
You asked how the department will link up with this committee. Let me say this in front. This is the committee, majorly which will oversight that department. And whatever, if at all I'm going to get that position, I have to engage this committee. Previously, and you forgive me, Madam Lungu, we have worked in the previous regime. I engage this committee as my department. I engage them. I take them to see what we have implemented from Kanimo, Masiumba, Kitui South to to Ecola AIC, I usually engage them. So this committee, let them know I am going to engage them and they will represent the people. I have to show the people their MCS are working with the Department of Tourism and they will participate. And when I'm taking you there, I'm not taking you as an individual. I'm taking you as
one side is Tana River.
Those are projects which we are going to do. Number 2, also provision of information. I'm going to provide with you with information to this committee in timely and precisely, so that you gauge how your committee, how your department is being ranked in terms of performance, and you will be. I cannot say, and I will say, you will be termed as the best committee in performance through the Department of Tourism. Thank you, Honorable Ndugu, and sorry for that oversight.
Okay, thank you. I will move on and just to remind you, in addressing and giving you answers, kindly direct the answers through the chair.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Chief.
Protocol. Honorable Masi, are you next? The next person should provide, that is Kasioka has left. She had a question. Then we can go to Honorable Ozo. I'm sorry for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Nzav Mwanzia, MCI elected in Kitui Ward. Mr. Kadenge, my question is, how will you manage the gifts and donations, the obese, which given to you in your line of duty?
Thank you, Honorable Nambu, and through the chair. There are some guidelines in that. There are categories of gifts and the value of those gifts. There are some gifts when you are given, you have to declare the value and you submit to the higher office. You don't keep it for yourself because of law implication. So at all, if I'm going to get a donation, and it will depend what type of a donation, because today in Kitui South or Mongigem or Mumoni Hills, we expect to get a donation of fencing. I have to declare to this committee and to the governor, inform the governor, this somebody called this Adamson is coming here with this kind of a donation to the Kitui government. And this donation will go to either Mumoni Hills or South Kitui or Mongigem. So all the donation, to my understanding, they must be declared to the authority. Thank you, Chair.
I believe this, you answered the question, but I believe there are other donations and gifts that come to you personal, lying on your duty in the office, and you are in the position where you are as a county employee. You know there are rules that govern such kind of gifts. I think the question was also directed to that line. What should you do? Somebody brings you a coach, let me get it to you, and you're in the office. How do you treat that?
Honorable Chair, the value of coach, you know, it's a bit heavy. So don't expect me to pocket that gold. Declare it as a county government property. And let's see the committee and the governor, and you involve them in that type of declaration. Please, that's my understanding.
Okay. All right, we move. Still, we have another question. Honorable Ngoima.
Yes, Mr. President, through the chair, you have been in office, being a director. Okay.
Yes.
yourself, you have met with conflict of interest as you were in that office. Okay?
Yes.
Now then you are becoming a bigger person in charge of a whole department. I want to hear from you. What are you intending to do to counter these conflicts of interest when you get this big job in the county? Because they are rampant. Every time those are the businesses you find it every day. Your sister comes, your cousin comes, your what comes, and he wants a job in your office. He wants a contract in your office and other things related to your office. What will you counter this?
Thank you to the Honorable Chair, Honorable Daniel Kimanzi, member of the Kitui Township. It's a very good question, and it's a question which most of the people in the office, they underrate it. I thank you for that question. And the conflict can be personal and also to the third person. Either you are not informed as a person. So, first I will give out the conflict which involve directly to myself. Like if my brother, my sister, my mom want a job in the department which I'm heading, or she has applied, I have to put in writing and I declare myself. I declare conflict of interest and then forward to the office. There is this issue of my brother or my relative has applied this one, so let me disqualify myself from undertaking any activity in that job. Number two, there might be a conflict of the two people who are not related to me. That's another type of conflict, in which these people, they are fighting resources in my department. I think the better thing is to inquire what are the reasons why they are fighting or they have a conflict in that manner, and it's call for solution. Ask them, we sit down, I see the problem, and if possible, I see if I can mediate. If I cannot mediate, there are people who are superior in my ranks. I can call the county secretary and the minister in charge of that department and hand over that conflict to them. I cannot swallow what I cannot chew what I cannot swallow. I know people will come with those kind of conflicts. So I will declare myself.
One more chair. Yes. Still in our Kitui County, remember we have a lot of pending bills. And now you are going there to an office and become an area order. We wish you well to be there. Now tell this committee how you will deal with these pending bills. Those, not the past pending bills, but the future pending bills, which will arise from the time you will be in office. Thank you.
Through the chair, government tends to have pending bills very soon because of the disbursement of the money, maybe late. Others because of their interest. You ask money to pay a certain contractor who has done the job, but you come and pay your friend. That it will not come from me. I will pay the bills according to the age. First come, first served. And for the work which is done. So, through the chair, Honorable Goima, even the pending bills which are lying there, if it were me, I would say we pay through the age. The order coming to the new one. That is my answer and that is my stand. Alright,
Honorable Chair. Yes, Honorable Munyalo, MCA Martinez Ward. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Kadenge. We have known each other for over 10 years. A great one. And today, I may say congratulations, you have gone through your CV and your excavation today about education. That whatever you get, you can make it great and become a great person. Congratulations for that. And I may ask, we found so much money on tourism. Having been a member of that committee for some time, for the last 5 years, and I, with the Honorable here, and I wish to know if we put more money there. This is one of the departments which can give us a lot of revenue. The work of the government is not to pump in money just to a department without returns. Government doesn't do business, but it has to have returns to pay its people. So we have pumped so much money into the tourism sector. I wish to know, do you have in your mind how we are going to get returns, how we are going to make more revenue like Narok County through tourism? Because we have different game reserves in this county, enormous ones, tourism attraction sites. We also have one of the greatest butterflies in Africa. Do you have any plan of making it great and attracting tourism in this country for us to get a lot, not just small, a lot of revenue like Narok County? Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Honorable Sylvester Munyalo. That's a very good question.
Both the dairy and the beef one or the locals. And maybe the other section is the coordinating units. That one you have answered like that other brother.
Thank you. We are going to have last question from
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Champion, yes. Before I ask that question, you said when they are trying to eradicate corruption, they will do it like Daniel. How did Daniel do it, and who is Daniel?
Daniel is one of the prophets in the Old Testament who was a captive from Judah, a Jew by origin, and he was taken by Nebuchadnezzar to be one of those people who will be advising in his government.
Resources, those 3 counties, as a country as a whole. Well, there we are. Probably it will be hitting the ground about a year or so. Our intent is to open up those roads to the river to facilitate that movement. But much more important will be our commitments as a government of Kitui to train contractors. We have committed to train 50 contractors in each ward with competence, so that when that mega contractor comes down there, we are not just focusing on the works within the county. Our contractors can be subcontracted in works there and create employment for people. So I am sure within
how a state organ should, how a state officer should carry himself, either in the public, to the community, and in the office he is.
Maybe
because
let me bring you to speed.
Article 10 is about national values and the principles of governance. And in a nutshell, it states that they bind state organs, state officers, and public servants when they are applying the Constitution. Constitution undertakes to eradicate corruption now, when they are also interpreting or applying any written law, like the Anti-Corruption Act. And thirdly, when they are implementing policies. Now you are almost being appointed to be an implementer, right? Right?
Yes. Yes.
As a chief officer. Now, would you be knowing those principles, national values and principles of governance?
One thing I want you to know is that when you become a state officer, you are not, there is an official way of doing things and there is the social way of doing things. For example, that chapter talks about...
Mr. Chambi, just answer the question. Do you know those values and the principles of governance?
Yeah.
Give us like 3 examples.
One, you should not discriminate. Maybe people because of disability, because of marginalization, or maybe because of gender. Yeah.
There are others.
And there are many others.
If you are appointed, kindly, I beseech you, just go and make it your national anthem. It will help you eradicate corruption. It has issues to do with involvement in policy making, transparency, accountability, high standards of professional ethics. Those are now the things that will help you eradicate corruption, as you were asked by Honorable Peter. Now lastly, as a chief officer in the Ministry of Livestock, Development and Agriculture, how will you ensure extension and advisory services to enhance agriculture productivity? Remember, in my first question, I asked about improving livestock production. Now just confine yourself to agriculture production and extension of services and advisory opinions. Kindly proceed in 1 minute, directly and expressly.
In agriculture, what I will do is one is the training of farmers on beekeeping, and then also we train more extension service providers still on beekeeping. Number 2, you should note that there is a project under the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock on beekeeping funded by World Bank. So also we will tap that one to incorporate it in our ministry, so that we can ensure maximum production of honey. And I think, please, you can give me 1 minute to talk about it. So what we will do is, for example, we have so many hills here in Kitui. For example, we have Mutonguni Hills, Mutonguni Ranges, we have Mumoni, we have Endau, we have Guni, and many others. So what we will do is, those communities who are living in those areas, they will be provided with an infrastructure to manufacture their own hives, the improved hives, so that they can set apiary on those hills, so that the bees can tap the flowers from the hills. And also, if there is anything else which will be required, like provision of water, because in those areas we don't have water, maybe that one we can provide it as we can advise them, or we can train and sensitize the farmers on how to provide bees with feed and also with water.
With the chair, thank you, Champi, in improving agriculture. Just in summary, you told us about training farmers and service providers, and also providing water. Supposing the farmers don't have the capacity to procure or rather buy enough beehives, are you intending to do anything about that to the farmers?
Yeah, I'm intending to do something, because what is there is, I've said there is this project called Narich, which is implementing a bee value chain in Kitui. I think from now, the first phase is ending in June, and then from June up to 2028, the project will be there. So here we will provide an infrastructure in this way. There are those plants which are very good for making hives. For example, we have this plant called Commivorous. So, putting into consideration the climate change, these farmers can be guided on through ISIPE, because ISIPE is a partner in Kitui in hand production, through ISIPE, World Bank and many others, on how to harvest the coniferous to make hives and maybe set apiary on those areas I've said. For example, those hills where there are no people, and many others. For example, we have the kite line, that is which divides Kitui and the Tsavo National Park. Also, we have that as a place where farmers, all those farmers living there, they can be sensitized on how to put beehives there. And that one also will stop human-wildlife conflict, because elephants will not cross.
Thank you, Mr. Champion. Through the chair, please allow me. You've said farmers will be trained on how to make beehives.
Yeah.
You don't have any other plan like to even support farmers by giving out beehives? Because now, if they don't have the capacity, and there are areas whereby you don't have those trees, whereby you can make those beehives from, as a chief officer, and you want to implement the program to the benefit of the people of Kitui, you have not thought of either coming up with a policy to give out beehives to farmers to support them?
One thing you have told me to fight corruption. And if, for example, we want to procure hives from the suppliers, that is a loophole for corruption, which we should fight. What my plan is, one, we have the TVETs who have trained those people who are carpenters. Can those carpenters be trained on hive manufacturing? Then these carpenters are, for example, we have Kamaki, which we want, which the county government want to make it a county cooperative. Can these carpenters work under Kamaki as a cooperative? And then if we have, for example, a subset of a cooperative like maybe Mwingi Central, where we have Nu and maybe Othos, can those one give the number of hives they have to Kamaki, so that Kamaki can procure for them at a cheaper price, not the 10,000 we are talking about, at a cheaper price, and take it to there. The same applies to every other area, so that we will not open maybe a farmer can get the same hive at 2,500 from a cooperative than to tell a supplier to give you a hive at 10,000. So I think the best thing is we have to work with the TVETs who will train carpenters for us, so that they can be making hives for the cooperatives. And in fact, the Narich project has a component for that.
Okay, Mr. Chambe, I have heard you talking about training carpenters, of which even this time you can be even given more than 1,000 carpenters who are just loitering around. Will be there a program for facilitating such a skilled manpower, so that they can do such a beehives and sell them to such a cooperatives?
You know, when you look at those people, for example, you have to look at honesty, because you may contract somebody to make a hive for you and he makes something else. So one, the efficiency of the person. So although you have carpenters, you have to vet them, so that you can get those who can give you the quality product you want. So that one will be there. We will make sure we are.
My question
and
is,
also we give them a contract.
My question is, if you vet them and they qualify to be the best and they lack resources, will you have a program of facilitating them?
Yeah, we have to look for a policy on how to facilitate them through the cooperative, so that they can make hives. The issue why I'm hesitant to contract an individual is one. You know, the issue is look at the way our people are. You know, everybody in Kitui is money-minded, and if everybody is money-minded, you will find a way of squeezing everything from you. But if you go through the cooperative, yeah, look, in fact it is there, because how comes on us at hive is costing at 10,000?
Mr. Chambi, I understand everyone is money-minded, and that's why it may be because you are money-minded. That's why you have not even completed paying your loan, and that's why you are talking reality. But now, because people are man-minded. I'm talking of that essence of facilitating them so that they may make money from their skills. That was my question. You have answered it. I may not allow you to continue answering the same question. I would like to say thank you to my honorable members, but I request you to give your final remarks, and I recognize the presence of honorable speaker here with us, so you can give your final remarks.
Thank you so much, your honorable members. One is to thank you for inviting me and listening to me. Then what I may say is that if I'm given this, if you appoint me, you nominate, you vet me and give me this post, what I will do is I will work closely with you on the matter of policies. There are so many policies in the side of agriculture which have not been finalized. So we need to finalize those policies with you, and also where there are laws which needs amendment. For example, we have a problem. There is a law of dairy board which binds milk hawkers, and I think we are going to produce a lot of milk. So maybe we have to find a way of empowering those people who will be doing milk vending in Kitui, so that they are safe. And also on things like value addition, we have also to make a policy on value addition, because agriculture is the backbone of everything in our economy. So we have to look for a way of integrating agriculture and also increase our taxes. So, and with that I say thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chambi. I thank honorable members for asking such a quality questions. We appreciate you, Chambi. We are grateful for you as a committee. You have answered questions, and we have even been entertained by that part of your preaching, because some people like Honorable Zila have known about Daniel. Who was Daniel? That's good. So we wish you well, and you may leave at your own pleasure after confirming whether your original documents have been returned back to you. And I wish to adjourn this meeting until Wednesday 9 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you.
Charge of a minister, not as a subsector in another ministry. That's number one. Number two, and the way you operate the budgets, it's very good. When a department is put in a big shell, there's a likelihood to say there's nothing, there's a little bit to do in this department. So what can we do? Let's then give a bit of money to be seen like it is existing. Because the leader there, it is not conversant with what the department should be doing in or for the people of Kitui County. I can tell you today, if we make those areas vibrant today, you will see a lot of people coming to Kitui, and then you see the economy of people of Kitui improve. So, the third issue, it is I have never interacted with the previous committees like before, and they tell them this is what, if you can see there from 2014 to 2017, the Ministry of Tourism had been allocated around 261 million that time, because what? But when it was come and put into Ministry of Sports, then transferred to Ministry of Environment, the budget was slashed because it's now just a small department. So we need to see that one. So now I say thank you to the leader. He has seen this department to be a standalone ministry, and I hope, because we have not come fully as a CEOs to prepare our own budget. The budget which are there, that budget you have seen, Honorable Chair, it has been chopped just from the Department of Environment. And the other money for tourism has been left there. So let that department use that money because it's non-essential to Kitui. So let us embrace and put our effort as a department, as a family of tourism, and we'll make sure we get a good budget for each financial year. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you for giving us the insight. Honorable members, we want to continue. I believe there's still more questions.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, on the same.
Yes.
I want to add something.
All right. Ask a question or you want to add?
Sure, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
You still add something on the discussion.
Go ahead.
Mr. Fadman, you find that you have said it here that this department has never been given the allocation like the other departments. It has been given very, very low money, very few money for it to run. And you've been there all through. I want to understand from you that for any ministry to be given enough money, it has to show, it has to suggest, give us money to go and do this and that. So that now the county assembly comes, the budget committee sits down, say, let's give this money for this, but then because of this and that and that. Now, have you suggested on how you reduce money in tourism by suggesting to the budget committee so that you can say the budget committee has overlooked? Because I think, if I may recall well, 2013, 2017, I was there, we were suggesting about having an airborne swing from that rock, Nabali Rock, all the way to Motito Hills. So that can also attract our tourists coming here and being airborne, swimming there, taking something from out of that swimming. Okay, you have also said the Zabana Rock has been lent to somebody or leased to an investor. And that's not the only way, the only place you can have such attractive sites and have such facilities. So, my question, and a big question, why is it that we are being given few monies in this tourism? Have we not been asking money through what we want to do? Like now we want to have the Eco Valley, so we are asking money to go to the Eco Valley. We want to have, we had the Kanundu River, the Karundu Dam, the Eco Park at my place, Kalundu. We suggested, and then we asked money for that, and the money was put there, and now the Eco Park is functioning. You have confirmed, maybe last year, or I don't know which year, you had these people visiting that place. So my question is it that we are not suggesting what should be given to us in this department so that we can be given these things?
The chair?
Yeah, and I believe you touched on that. Be specific, be brief on that answer.
The chair?
Is it either yes or no, you are not being given? Maybe I had a write down.
Yes, through the chair, we have not been given enough money, and the reasons are very obvious. And I have stated some. that department is overlooked. Number two, you have talked about the activities. I promise you, as I sit in my office as a director, I have already, and we have worked the activities which we need to undertake 2023-2024. And during the budget preparations, which is our process and it is starting soon, you are going to present, I'm going to be the meeting as CEO or assistant director for that means. We are going to present the activities and the cost implication, so that you can view as a committee of tourism and see if they are viable to be financed. So through the chair, I think this time round we have and divide those activities for 2023-2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Wanakadenge. The Vice Chair has a comment on the same. Yeah. Please, welcome.
In fact, honorable members, I may say that
your mic is very far.
I was in tourism committee last time, and we never dealt with Mr. Kathenge. I knew he was there, but he was sidelined. And we actually pumped a lot of money every year for 5 years in Kalundu. And I wanted to ask how much did you collect from Kalundu now that it is complete? And is it properly complete? Because when we went there last week, it was shoddy job, it was not complete.
Through the chair.
Otherwise, it's like tourism was killed together with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Answer the question, Honorable.
Through the chair, Honorable Mbu, thank you for that observation. And I can tell you what is happening in Kalundu and what happened in Kalundu for the last 5 years. It is not something to comment. We put man, I cannot run even if I was not in the party that meaning. We cannot put a lot of public funds somewhere and we leave the gate open. What was the purpose? Initially the concept paper for Kalundu, I'm the one who developed it. And we were to collect revenue and put banners on the other side of the extreme side of Kalundu for cultural activities. But once the contractor has been given the job to put the sand, I think that was the interest. And the gate was left open. No collection, nothing. So I think there was a lapse somewhere, and that lab, we are going to correct it. We start charging and put at least banners on the other, because the concept paper I have it in my laptop. What should be done in Kalundu, the concept paper I have it. We see, we put the banners there, we put the cultural activities, cultural items there, like calabash, what, all the carvings, so that people, when we say I try beach, just that word alone, I try beach, they want to come and see, then they can experience our cultural activities. So for that,
nothing was collected.
Nothing was collected.
Okay. We want to move to the next question. Honorable members, let's try to finish with what we had already prepared, then we can go to the other areas.
Okay, Chair.
Honorable Katana.
Mr. Kadenge, you much of anti-cotility and explained fully about different sites. That's Mutono, Zambaniro. You've talked of Kalundu Park. That one because you've once you mentioned about the Kovali in Bazavi. Do you know this place? Called the Kovali, which is in Bazavi.
Thank you to the chair. Thank you to the chair. Yes, I know the Kovali, and I approached the structure there. Okay. At Kalundu. Okay. So the place I know it.
A Kovali emanated from farm to water and connect to Uganda, which is more, and I talk of one of the point, which the last regime, and was also a committee of the same member committee, and we did a lot of budget allocation to that place, expecting to see somebody which can give it all this to our people. You've talked of the hazard so much, and you explained to us comprehensively how you make it to try to see whether you complete. We want equality in performance. If you see if you are doing Mutomos network, we also want that round of, because if you like gyms, you see you just want to do Mutomos network, and you take a lot of time to come to the Valley. So this is very important, and no one you to answer. It's very important when you are doing your work, you check that equality, that you are doing work in equally, every part of it to count for the benefit of our people. Thank you.
Alright, yeah.
Honorable Chair, let me comment about that one. Honorable Stephen, I could not mention everywhere. I know where Kio is. Kio is my ward. Kio here. You know where it is? You come from that place. So all those things, if I can get you a number now, I can send you what I have for the whole Kitui County. The touristic attraction. They are, most of them, they are every ward. Every ward we have something we can say, people that can come here and enjoy as a tourist. Okay, this is not a quality and
Chair, I'm a medical student, and I want to ask a question and answer a question, another question.
Yes.
Now, could you explain to this committee measures we put in place with completion of these projects? The measures we put in place.
Still I remind you, not answer Honorable Katana, answer the chair.
Yes.
For the benefit of the committee, that is.
Through the chair, once we get the budget, enough budget, because the issue is the resources. The issue is the resources. Once we get the resources, as a chief officer, I'm going to make sure I distribute the projects as per their viable or
their viability.
Yes, as their viability. Meaning, that does not mean I will not take some portion of money, even if the project is not going to be complete, but the next financial year I put another money so that it can be within the 4.5 years remaining. I make sure all the places, and if not all, majority of them, they are complete. So I'm going to put that in my diary, and I put everything with my staff, and I make sure they are going to achieve what Honorable Stevens asked.
Thank you, Mwana Kadenge, Mr. Kadenge. I guess and I believe members have heard, and Honorable Katana has also heard. We move to the next question. That is the question Honorable friend is on hospitality. I just want to point out that, or rather remind you, talked about tourism, and in tourism there is hospitality, which is a section that has been handed in by the governor, I believe, for a purpose. So Honorable, welcome.
Thank you, Chair. I think it's like Kadenge has answered this question I have prepared for him, and it is all about the hospitality sector, whereby we have a lot of hotels. Kitui is geographically blessed, and it has a lot of the attraction sites. Now, on the hospitality part of it, we want to know, or you share light on how, and I think you have shared a bit of it, how you attract the private investors and the businesses in this our county, because through the investors, I tend to think about going to Dubai. A lot of people go to Dubai. Why? Some of them go to view the places the investors have built, like the building, the tallest buildings in Dubai, you know that? Dubai has not much of the natural attraction sites, but they have done a man-made one. So this question is asking on, and you know, your department is interrelated to the other departments. How do you work closely to other departments to see that we can have the attractive sites here, maybe man-made? Touching on the Dubai, citing the Dubai case, how do you think widely about how you can do it? You can use the other departments, you direct with them, have some special buildings or investments so that it can still attract the tourists.
Okay, I know the question is long, but driving to the very point, kindly you may give a brief but a detailed one, a brief but in details.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The question for Honorable Roima about the hospitality. First, I start with hospitality and symposium. What is that? This is the training which we usually hold all the hospitality stakeholders, that is hoteliers and the tour guides, in a certain place. We usually hold it at Mwingi Cottage every financial year. Then we invite the expert of tourism first to train our hoteliers. Honorable Ngoima through Chair, if today you are taken around Kitui and the Mwingi and the Mutombo, those are towns, is there an hotel which can be graded as a first class or star 1, star 6, star 7? Is there an hotel of such kind? There are people that need that knowledge, and that one according to the Tourism Act 2011, whereby we can collaborate with the bodies like Tourism Regulatory Authority. We bring them and they create awareness for our hoteliers, how they can come with hotels which can be classified. That is number one. We bring our hoteliers together for hospitality and symposium. Then the other issue of hospitality, we need, even if our hoteliers cannot be classified, we need to train those investors who are in that business of hospitality. And we can go to the Utalii College. That is the body which is mandated for training of hospitalities. So I will make sure the hospitality sector in Kitui, it will get the enough training and we create awareness of how they can come with a good product of hospitalities. Those hotels in Dubai, they have been created by people and they need a lot of investment. Our people today, they don't know. They can go to the government through that Tourism Act 2011. There is a sector called Tourism Fund Corporation. Their work it is to finance the hotel industry. You come up with a plan, they finance you, and you come with a good. They come up with a good hotel, even if it's a skyscraper, but can be classified as a 6-star. So, through Honorable Chair, I will do that and bring those bodies, because our people, they lack knowledge. And if you don't have a knowledge, you can assume where you are, it is a comfortable zone. But unless we train and bring those people and give them that knowledge, we'll still lag behind. But I'm going to bring those hospitality and the symposium
workshop every financial year, only if I can get the support from the executive and the county assembly and the resources. Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Daniel Kimanzi.
All right, honorable members, we move. We continue. The question that was following that Honorable Nzafu was to deal with, but I believe that question seems to have been answered through the process. Honorable Nzafu, are you comfortable? Yes, I've seen the answers that have been given. And I will ask the next game reserves, and I want to ask Honorable Mercy. She has a question on that. Kindly go ahead, Honorable Mercy.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, Mercy. Yeah. Mr. Kaveng, congratulations. Now, you are aware that Kitui County has some game reserves. Could you please name them and give a brief account of the reserves?
Through the chair, in Kitui County, we have 2 game reserve and 1 conservancy, which is on a list. The first game reserve is South Kitui Game Reserve, which has an acreage of 1,833 kilometers square. South Kitui Game Reserve, with an acreage of 1,833 square kilometers, which is in Kitui South constituency, borders Savo East and Tana River side. So that is one of the game reserve. The other game reserve is Mwingi Game Reserve, which is 750 kilometers square, and it borders the Meru Conservation Area and the Kora National Park. For Mwingi Game Reserve, in addition to what we are honorable through the chair, through what Honorable Mercy has asked, I can say Mwingi has a bit of life. As a bit of life, it is us, Kitui County Government, we are not tapping that life because it borders Meru Conservation, where there's a lot of elephant and they cross Tana River to Kitui.
Mr. Kadenge, we had our Deputy Speaker in chambers, just walking in, but we want to recognize you. We thought you would stay a little bit longer. Our Chair of Chairs, and Honorable Zilu for Changwedia West, isn't it? He was accompanied by Honorable Katumbi, who is also the MCR for Changwedia East. Thank you for being part of our gallery. Okay, the sandwich, Honorable Ngoima, that is not for this committee. Thank you for making time to be with us in the gallery. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the interruption, Bwana Kadenge, you can continue.
Thank you, Bwana Chair. I was answering the Honorable Mercy about the Mwingi and the South Kitui, and I was on Mwingi Game Reserve, where I've said, you give me a bit of time, it is Kitui County. On our side we are lacking, because Mwingi Game Reserve has a bit of life through the Adamson Bridge. The Meru side, they come to Adamson picnic side to enjoy there. Even there's a camp side which is called Ikime campsite, evergreen. We have not tapped that opportunity. And those people, once they cross that bridge of Adamson, which is about 90 to 100 meters, they enjoy on our side and we don't charge them. So that is an opportunity, and I had on the revenue side, we need to tap that opportunity, Honorable Chair, through Mercy, and Honorable Mercy. So those are 2 game reserve. The other one is not a game reserve as per se, it's a conservancy, which is under lease of 99 years, Kanyonyo. And in Kanyonyo, there is also life. But the problem of tapping that opportunity, it is porous. We don't have a gate. It is only the place in Kanyonyo you can get a Maasai giraffe, and there are those zebras and gazelles. Apart from the 2 game reserve, the Kanyonyo Conservancy has also, and this Maasai giraffe is very rare, Honorable Chair. So we need also to look at that conservancy. We see how we can do about it. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
All the best, Mr. Kavenge.
Thank you.
All right. We have another question, and we are about just to finish the questions, but just listen. This I will be able to pose it on behalf. It is common knowledge that the game reserves have been found with the perennial high human conflicts, human activities and encroachment, and if not curbed, may lead to loss of or part of the land. Let me repeat the question again. It is in common knowledge that the game reserves have been faced with the perennial high human activities and encroachment, that if not curbed, may lead to loss of or part of the land permanently and high land degradation. As the CEO or the chief officer in charge of the sector, what measures may you put in place to reduce or permanently eliminate these illicit activities? Very briefly.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. It is true. There are a lot of conflicts, human conflicts, in that areas. That is the 2 game reserve and even Kanyonyo. Let us not just close an eye for the Kanyonyo. It is true, there's a conflict. And why there are those conflicts, the reason is the scarce resources. The people need to use those game reserves for feeding their livestock. That's number 1. For feeding their livestock. And those people are not from Kitui. They are from our neighboring counties. Bearing in mind, security is not in hands of the county government, it's for the national government. But we need to collaborate with the national government. And not just to collaborate, since serious collaboration, we put our issues as a Kitui, because the people who are being armed in those areas, they are sons and daughters of this county, to eliminate that conflict and fight. That's number 1. Number 2, there is an element of encroachment. For example, in Mudha, a place called Musenge and Cheni. Then you go to side of Kalubini, still in Mudha. People claim there, and not to claim, because I was not born by that time, there are ancestral lands. That's what the information which we get. Last year, there was a lot of conflict, and the people were evicted all the way to Enyali. Now I think they have come. And one of the school, Cheni, it was transferred to Ikingo and other areas of the primary schools. The pupils were transferred there. So those areas, people claim it is ancestral land. We need to engage those people and have a serious public participation with the people who are bordering those areas. Not to evict them. We are not going to use the power, but engage our people and tell them, yes, this is your land. If at all it's your land, after we get the map and whatever, but you can donate this area and become a shareholder of this game reserve. Once it's become viable, you become a shareholder, and whatever is going to be we get from there, you have a dividend, and you will be given that dividend every year. So that not to be given, because once you give one, the others will start complaining. But they give the land, we form a conservancy. Actually, we have an investor who is willing to invest at South Kitui Game Reserve and the Ekime campsite. That is in Mwingi. And those investors, what they are waiting for the county government is just demarcation. And this demarcation can limit also the human conflict. So that we know the borders of Kora National Park, the Tana River people, and the other side of our people. Once we put demarcation, and the demarcation one, we identify the beacons, then we do the cut line, which is very expensive. And we need finances. We do the cut line for the 2 game reserves, and the conflict, we cannot say we are going to kill it, but minimize. That's number one. I think that's a measurement we should undertake. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Wanakadenge. So are you, as a follow-up, are you undertaking before this committee, if indeed approved by the county assembly finally, if this committee makes a recommendation towards your approval and the county assembly approves you, and subsequently the governor appoints you to the office of the CEO for tourism, hospitality and game reserves, you'll be able to fast track the issue of the demarcation, the cut lines and the rest, so that we can be able to address the issues that have been highlighted on that question?
Through Honorable Chair, I'll tell you 99% I'll do that.
Thank you. We move to the last question on what we had, but it does not close the door. And I give it to Honorable Cyrus, the MCA for Ikanga Chatune. Welcome, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And congratulations to my brother.
I know your voice is not that much, but you can bring the microphone closer. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And congratulations to my brother, Fenad Katenke. He's from my ward, Ikanga Chatuna ward. And man will be brief. Assuming that he's successful and listed as the Chief Officer, Tourism, Game Reserves, and Natural Resources. What are your steps that you take to ensure sustainable wildlife conservation, both for in situ and ex situ? And what steps would you still make to ensure reduced human conflict, human-wildlife conflict, considering now we have issues of climate change, issues of road constructions that will naturally affect natural habitats for wildlife, and probably issues of looking for more agricultural land, which now pushes the issue of wildlife human conflict into place. And that one, what steps do you have to eliminate poaching activities across the great country of Kitui, especially in our gazetted reserves and conservancies? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Cyrus. Mr. Kadenge, I know you had touched on some of these, you had answered some of these questions along the line, but you can do a summary just to, and maybe put what Honorable Cyrus has wanted on is the issue of drought, and so you can be able to mention and deal with that as we conclude.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The issue of climate and the conservation, I think we have Act, Wildlife Conservation and the Management Act 2013, which guides the conservation of gazetted areas and the more the game reserves and the protected areas. like South Kitui, Mwingi, Kanyonyo, Mumoni, Mutitu, and Dau. Those are gazetted areas, and there is that act. So one thing we need to do, and I'll try, see if I can achieve, is to sensitize our people about conservation. Most of our people, they are doing some of activities because they lack knowledge. Today you go to those reserves, there is a lot of distraction, charcoal harvesting, but there are ways of, modern ways of energy production. Our people need to be given that knowledge so that we can change the climate and embrace to have people plant a lot of trees, and especially in those game reserves. Even the county, instead of taking
And in this country, I can tell you, especially Kitui County, we are ahead because we employ the game rangers, and those game rangers are there. They can take care of those seedlings. So about the climate change and the drought is only if we can embrace that act to minimize the destruction of our conservation and give the drought as a kill. So in brief, Honorable Chair, I can say our people will be trained how to minimize the destruction of some of the protected areas. The step of poaching activities. Why our people do poaching? Because they want game meat. But also there's a law. And if we can tell our people there's a law for game meat, and if we are caught doing this, there is this fine. I know our people fear a lot punishments. So, but if they can be sensitized, the only issue is here is, can we train our people to know how to conserve the natural beauty of this country? So in summary, let's sensitize our people, let's give our people knowledge and tell us and help them, because you cannot tell somebody not to harvest charcoal and you are not giving that person an alternative. What? You are telling that people to migrate this country? No. Let us give our people also alternative of income generation. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Silas, are you okay? One more? Okay, one more.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Working with this Honorable Committee, you indicated before that you really want to endeavor in the future, the near future, to have this Minister of Tourism visit Talalong. What level of commitment can you assure us that you will accord us to ensure that this committee helps you and also help us, so that we can have the whole idea of having tourism as an alone ministry outside where it is right now in the manager?
Okay. Welcome, Wanakathenga, to answer Silas.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And I will answer that question by 2 words. Engagement. Frequent engagement. Where I see there's a greenish somewhere, I have to ask the chair of this committee. We meet and we deliberate so that we can help, you can help me, help this committee, and help our people down there. So the issue is engagement. I will engage you on a frequent basis.
Thank you.
All right, honorable members. Okay, Honorable Ndumbu, Vice Chair. Okay. I guess we have consulted with my Vice Chair. That will come. I have two quick questions to you. One is a question, the other one we would want to know from you as we come to the end of our engagement. And honorable members, I'm not closing the floor. In the event somebody has something else, please, the nominee, before the nominee leaves, we want you to engage him. One, you told us that the tourism ministry, for that matter, the department, tourism ministry has been was being taken as a department in the other ministries before. Hence, the reason for this more allocation in the budget making process, or allocation of a little money for that case. Now, tell us, this ministry still is under the office of the Deputy Governor. Is the Deputy Governor substantively the CEC for tourism? If from your explanation we are getting now, the department has been freed, the ministry is now can be able to stake out its case for higher allocations in the budget. So, but it still is under the office of the governor. We know the office of, the Deputy Governor. I'm not sure whether there is another department that is under him. Number two, that's for clarity. Number two, you are serving right now in the ministry as a civil servant, correct? You are going to be appointed, rather if the process goes through, you're going to be appointed as a CEO. How do you intend to marry the two? Will you be on secondment, or what is the arrangement? If you may express it to us, so that we can also, as a committee, we can be able to know. It's an expression that has been asked, and I think it's good for us to get clarity. Very briefly.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And now I'm glad and I'm very, very happy. The department now is under ministry, under the office of the Deputy Governor as a ministry. Now that is a portfolio of the Deputy Governor, and he has been given only two departments: Department of Tourism and the Department of Performance Contracting. So that is like a standalone ministry, a portfolio which the Deputy Governor has enjoyed. That's number one. So that is now as a ministry, standalone. Number two, it's about the serving. I'm an assistant director. The law is very clear. And I can tell you through the chair, the secondments are over. The secondments are over. Unless I will seek advice somewhere else in a few days to come. But the secondment has been closed. It's either I resign and I become a state officer, chief officer, not as a secondment. There are issues of take unpaid leave. That one I don't know whether it will apply. It applied for unpaid leave. You are going to studies somewhere, or you are flying out of the country for medication or other business. That is also an issue which need to be, but categorically and very simple. If I get my appointment letter and I agree with the terms given there, the following day is to tender my resignation as assistant director, and I take it as a state officer now. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Precise. I believe members are clear, and we're also clear as a committee. Honorable members, anything else? Anything else? All right. Honorable Vice Chair, I believe you are comfortable. You are. Now we move to the next. Yeah. Let the Honorable Vice Chair to say something.
You seem to be so confident of gotten the job. I have not heard you pray for this committee to offer you the job.
Okay. I think the Vice Chair is prompting. She's been waiting to hear whether you will somewhere seek for the job in a way that you're appealing to the committee, but we are coming to that. And right through, let me give you the opportunity to make your final remarks. Why we listen to you, perhaps that is the point. We are going to say something, and Honorable Ndubu will be happy. We want to give you an opportunity to speak, to say your last remarks in this engagement. So the floor is yours, Mr. Kathenge.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you also, Honorable Ndubu, for being proactive and provocative to me if I become the Chief Officer. It's my pledge to this committee. And please, you give me that position of Chief Officer. First, I become a model to others. You have seen where I've come from in terms of education. You can come from down to top. That's number one. I become a role model to others. Number two, I need also to beg you, you give me this job so that we can serve our people. We can serve our people with sincerity, not schemes. And also, I also thank you as a committee to invite me in this today's sitting. To me, it will be a memorable day. Even if I go to grave today, I will put a record in maybe Chatune area. The first CEO to come from that area. And I please, I beg you, you give me this opportunity. Through the chair, the members, me, I'm very proud of you. We have interacted with a few of you. Most of you, we have not interacted, but the way you have treated me in this sitting, it is exceptional. Even when I sat there for almost an hour, the water was drawing, like, when will I face that committee? And the clerk called me and put in another room. Then I asked him, surely, where are the committee members? He told me, wait, I'll call you. So still I was in a panic battle. But when I reached here, I found a very accommodative committee members. Through the chair, thank you very much, this committee. I don't know what I can tell you, but only God who can pay you what you have treated, how you have treated me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Bwana Fanad Dema Kathenge, nominee, CEO, Tourism, Hospitality and Game Reserves. We want to thank you more sincerely for being with us and engaging, for having, of course, in pursuit of the employment that you are seeking, having been able to engage us. We have asked you questions, you have answered us. The committee will be sitting down to look at the answers you gave in relationship to the questions they asked you. They will sit down, of course, to go through the information you have provided them with, which information you provided under oath, and of course captured in the hazard. And we are looking forward, as you have prayed, that we trust and believe you'll make it. The committee, we promise you that we will be as fair as possible. We, of course, as a committee that exercises oversight of the executive, this assembly under Article 179, I believe, the county government is made of two arms. The county assembly, as you have said, and the executive. And I believe we are here to give each other support the much we can. We believe you will make it and work with this committee in the years to come as you serve the people of Kitui. I want to thank you and appreciate you on behalf of the committee. We are glad to have engaged you, and we want to wish you the very best in your future endeavors. We will be sitting down, making a report, as I've said. The report is processed. Once we make a decision as a committee, it's processed through this house, the assembly. We are an extension of the assembly, and from there, the announcement, the approval will be made through the assembly, of course, being prosecuted by this by this committee, so that we can be able now to get back to the other side, where the governor can make the final appointment. And I want to thank you. I've been the chair for this committee, Honorable Titus Kasinga, MCR Momoni Ward. And I want to say each member here, every member you have found here, is equal to the task. We only having opportunities in accordance with the arrangement of the assembly to have the opportunities that we have to serve. And so I want also to thank the members most sincerely for your time in finding it very reasonable to sit throughout. You have done also a great service to the people of Kitui for ensuring that you endure throughout to engage with the nominee. Thank you also for the service that you have offered also to the assembly. And with those remarks, I would want to ask the clerk to return the documents, the ID, the certificates that he picked. And I believe the verification was done. It was okay. Anything? Anything? All was well. Please have the documents back to the nominee. And we would want you to verify your documents, whether they are all together, they are complete, what you gave, so that we don't get you out of this room and you find yourself without your ID. That will be, you have it. And with that, you can leave at your pleasure. Thank you so much. Go well and God bless. Tim, take his back, please. Thank you very much. In attendance in the gallery also, we wanted to recognize Honorable Juan Bernard Sila, MCA for Mwingi Central, and who is also the chair for health. Thank you for finding time. Also going out is Honorable Masako, MCA for Mutomo, who is also the vice chair park, and also joined us in the gallery together with the speaker once again is our majority leader, Honorable Maluki, MCA Migwani Ward. Thank you for finding time, Honorable Majority, to be with us, and also the speaker coming back once again. We thank God for everything. Honorable members, we are done for the business of the day, and I would ask that once we get to the other business on the other side, we start doing our reports. Let us please concentrate, because the task that we have been tasked with by the assembly is not an easy task. We have to give a report, we have to be fair, we have to be truthful in what we report and what we give back to the assembly, in the essence that we are serving our county, and we need also to deliver justice to the nominee, as well as also giving the assembly the rightful position of what we have found today after engaging the nominee. And so with those few remarks, I thank you all, and I would want to ask that we can close with a word of prayer. We would never forget to acknowledge God in our daily activities. I want to remind the honorable members kindly the attendance register, and also I believe you have also signed the other documents. If you have not signed, kindly sign There's a conflict room, a form, conflict of interest. If we go out, if where the space is provided, once again, I remind you about the conflict, please write none. And those members who could have left, I will ask them to be able to come back and be able to write, to sign these documents. They are very important. Thank you, honorable members. May God bless you as you retire for the evening. Thank you. I was waiting for the forms to be filled. I don't want you to move, but as we continue to do that, I wish to be upstanding so that we can adjourn. We can adjourn this committee sitting. Honorable members, the committee is sitting on vetting on the nominee on tourism, hospitality and game reserves stand adjourned until a future date that will be communicated through the office of the clerk. Thank you. May we have a word of closing prayer. I want to ask one of our members to pray for us.
Tuombe. Baba, tuko mbele yako tukisema asante kwa pale tumefika. Baba, tunaenda kupumukana na tunapoenda Baba, tunaomba ukae na sisi na uwe na sisi. Yale tumefanya leo, nataka Mungu ukakue ndani yetu wakati tunaenda kuandika report. Wacha nominee akapate ile yake ya kutoka kwa hii committee ambayo ni ya just. Tunaomba haya kupitia kwa mwanao Yesu Kristo mwokozi wetu.